every day. Get outside, fresh air and sunshine. Haven't had any sunshine around here for about a week, but it's all good. Gotta throw the ball for the dog. That'll work. Got myself involved in research again. This isn't bone density this time. This is cardiovascular health and spinal cord injury. Oh, so exciting. I gotta tell you, educational shit. The proper education you need. Let's go. Hurry up. Where's the ball? Proper education you need if you're all fucked up after you've been injured. However, while I was there, I also did some snooping around, and I was able to talk to a couple of the doctors. We talked about bone density, bone health to be exact, the loss of bone mineral density, the effects of spinal cord injury on the long bones, the effects or the lack thereof of weight bear on the long bones, the effects of diet on as far as osteoporosis is concerned. A couple of things that we learned, and we're going to go over a lot of that shit today. Osteoporosis is all fucked up. It's accelerated in spinal cord injury because you're not wiggling around and you're not putting any weight on your skeleton. Okay? The muscular system and the skeletal system work together. There is about 11 fucking systems in the body. And any type of cervical injury to the spinal cord affects just about all of them. Ain't that a fucking peach? Stick around. Where's the ball? Where'd it go? Go get it. Let's go. Yo, once again outside, fresh air and sunshine. There is no substitute. I started doing some studying on bone density and bone health back in March. Read about a bazillion case studies. Talked about, I don't know, a whole shitload of doctors, chiropractors and shit like that. Doctors over at Kessler Research. Some of the training that I was involved in. Found out a ton of shit. I'm not a doctor. Keep that in mind. I'm not going to sit there and bug the shit out of you for the rest of forever, but let me know what you think.
Bone health? Why not? Well, that's what we're talking about. The skeletal system and the function of the skeletal system. 5 major functions of the skeleton. Provides shape and support, enables the body to move, protects internal organs, produce blood cells, and store material until the body needs it.
Which brings us to the muscular system. No skeleton would be worth a shit without it.
What does a muscular system do? Did I just say muscular? Muscular system do? Protects your body. Covers most of the skeleton. Muscles also cover most of the organs inside your body. What a wonderful idea. They're like a layer of padding. They surround your abdomen, chest, and back and protect your internal organs from getting all fucked up. This is good stuff. You need this. And you can't forget about the integumentary system. All your skin and hair and fingernails and shit. It does a good job. It keeps all your muscles and skeleton together and keeps your organs inside your body. This, my friend, is evolution at its finest. Now let's get back to the skeleton. Your bones. You have the spongy bone on the inside, the trabecular bone, covered by a compact bone on the outside, the cortical bone. And in the chewy center is the marrow. Marrow is where your blood comes from. Time for a fun fact. True or false? Blood does not flow through your bones. False. Bones are made up of living tissue and blood maintains bone health.
Until we fuck it up with a spinal cord injury. Yeehaw!
And one of the special gifts that goes along with spinal cord injury is osteoporosis. Definition: systematic skeletal disease characterized by low bone mass and microarchitectural deterioration of bone tissue, with a consequent increase in bone fragility and susceptibility to bone fracture. You know, on top of everything else, this is something else, but there's ways they can detect this. And the best way to find out and detect any form of osteoporosis is with the dual energy X-ray absorptiometer, also known as a DEXA scan. DEXA scans open air, no claustrophobia. However, they will scan your body and your bones, and you will end up with a T-score. And you will see here, where normal bone density at 0 and so on and so forth. You probably won't be happy about your T-score and everything else, especially if you've been injured for a while, but it's better to know than it's not to know, because that score will bring you and show you the extent of your osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is one of those inevitables. You'll see here, from the time you're born till the time you're 20, your bones go through something called osteogenesis, where they're building, they're being made, you're growing. And it holds on to the density for about 20 years till you're about 40. But shortly thereafter, as you get older, things don't typically get better with age. We stop exercising, we stop, moving around as much, and we stop putting a lot of stress on the skeletal system. So it trails off. For women, it's a little bit more difficult to deal with. But, when you're injured, either a para or a quad, it really focuses on the lower region of the body. This is where the problems come in. One of the things that they relate with spinal cord injury, with the osteoporosis, is space travel. You'll see, you got the whole weightlessness. More correctly termed, microgravity. It looks fun, but it places demands on your body that just are not normal. In the long term, your muscles weaken, your bones become brittle. And that's one of the things. Robert Kelly, the astronaut who just went up, was up in the space shuttle the space station for over a year. He came back. He was 2 inches taller when he got back because of the lack of stress and resistance on the skeleton. Amazing, isn't it?
I'm going to show you this. June of 2015, I decided to simulate, coming out of my chair. I am curious in nature. Did you hear that thunk? That was the sound of my knee hitting the floor. This is something that happens to a lot of quadriplegics and paraplegics. They fall from their chair from time to time. Okay, I'm fine. Okay? However, for a lot of people, it doesn't really work out very well. Specifically due to the onset of osteoporosis and the loss of bone density. We're going to talk about osteoporosis right now. This is very informative. Be careful.
And with the osteoporosis, because of no stress on the bones, that leads up to a lot of fragility. And this is the thing that really concerns me. Low impact fractures. I'm not looking to scare you. I'm looking to educate you in the fact that these are things that happen to quadriplegics. You fall out of your chair. You break your legs. It's what happens. The recovery time is long and grueling. Normally it requires bed rest. And when you're in bed for a while, there are complications that you have to deal with that. So, all I'm trying to do is educate you so you can at least have a very good working knowledge of how to protect yourself and what to expect. God forbid, things do happen. Listen, I'm not looking to be the bald-headed, fat, fucking smelly bucktooth fuck that walks in and fucks up your party. However, there's things that you need to know in order to protect yourself. You know, there's ways for your muscles to stay healthy to protect your bones. Eat healthy food. Get plenty of sleep. Exercise. Exercise. I think I said that before. Exercise helps keep your muscles healthy. Muscles can get smaller and weaker without exercise. Weak muscles can increase risk of heart disease. Bone injuries can happen more often when muscles are not healthy. Joints might not be stable when muscles are small and weak. I've said this before. You have to start training. You have to protect yourself. You protect your bones by protecting your muscles against muscle atrophy. Muscle atrophy is when the muscles decrease from a lack of use. Medications are around, but they're not very dependable. However, there's eating habits and a lifestyle change. Considering the fact that, you broke your neck, your lifestyle has obviously changed. This is something seriously look into. Diet and exercise are very important. Now, as far as diet is concerned, if you're under the impression that I'm going to sit there and explain to you what a healthy diet is, you're sadly mistaken. This is one of the things everybody fucking knows. You can go online and figure it out. Alright? Simple fact of the matter is common sense. Look at the guy on the left. Diet and exercise. He's in shape. Big fat bastard wolfing burgers and fries. He ain't doing so good. Give yourself an idea. Just don't be a fucking retard. What I will do is give you a good start. Okay, we're looking to build bone health. Calcium is a good start, considering that your bones are mostly made of calcium. That's always a good idea. A good source of calcium, guess what? Good old fucking fashioned milk. Something else, very good for bone density. Silicon. It's a mineral found in the earth. However, it's also found in a lot of different foods. See, it's the mineral your bones need, your doctor won't tell you about. It's not that he doesn't know. You should figure this out yourself. Here's a list of foods that are high in silicon. Take a good look at it. You're going to be quizzed on this later. Now, were you paying attention? If you were, then you noticed rice, barley, and grains. Well, lucky me, that's part of any self-respecting Irishman's diet. You don't know? Well, let me bring you up to speed. Boom, 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 here comes the king, here comes the big number one. Boom, 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 Budweiser beer, the king is second to none. That's right, bitches. You can have up to 3 beers a day if you want. You can have more if you want. I stick to about 2 a day. Yeah, sometimes I don't drink at all. Beer is a great source of silicon. Lucky for me. Yeah, exercise, I'm sorry. As far as exercise is concerned, I refuse to explain the obvious benefits, other than strength and health. But here's my take. Enjoy.
Strength training. Let's see, exercise and strength training. What will that improve? Every aspect of your life. Strengthen your body, strengthen your mind, strengthen your life. Suck on some of that. Now get the fuck to work.
This is probably what you think of when you think of weight bearing. Just standing. And you would be correct. However, not only the long bones, the fibia, tibia, and femur, and by far the femur certainly does take the biggest brunt. Weight bearing comes in all shapes and sizes and forms.
Regardless of sex, regardless of age, any and all forms of exercise, any type of resistance, is, in and of itself, weight bearing. After all forms of resistance are weight bearing. Typically, weight bearing is just stress put on the muscles and the bones.
Now, weight bearing doesn't have to be a massive routine. The most simple things do qualify for weight bearing, whatever you can do. Even something as simple as rolling around playing with your dog, Or something a little bit more complex is, working with a therapist, which, definitely is going to require, you to pay more attention, you to work harder. Simple fact. The more you do, the more you get. It also comes in a myriad of shapes and sizes, and it also affects everything from humans to animals. So even if you're standing or you're sitting or you're just doing some type of aerobic exercise, everything and all together, weight bearing, exercise and resistance is so important. I cannot really explain to you the importance. However, you have to get to work. Weight bearing exercise is extremely important.
So important that I actually took the opportunity to put together a little demonstration to show you what happens without weight bearing and what happens to the molecular alignment of the cells that make up your bones. May seem a little harsh, may seem a little bit difficult to watch, but it's really what happens. Now, I told you a while ago, I had an email from a guy, Joe Stone, out in Colorado, from the Joe Stone Foundation. Not Connecticut Joe Stone, Colorado Joe Stone. And he told me that being in a standing frame or doing standing alone did nothing to help with bone density. And I told you he was right. However, I did do some looking around, and I found something that he wasn't right about. There is serious benefit to standing. Doesn't reverse osteoporosis. However, something else happens when you do not stand, when there's no weight bearing. Okay? We're going to go over that with this little demonstration. You let me know what you think. I came up with this picture some years ago, a new logo. Basically, it just depicts a seated position to a standing position. And I never really thought much of it. I just thought it looked cool. And it actually is pretty cool. But when you throw the anomaly of gravity into the idea, it changed. I looked at this the other day and I was like, well, I'll be fucked. That's interesting. As it relates to your skeleton and the effects of gravity on the skeleton. Especially when you compare human bones to that of a tree. Here's a tree structure. You can see the rings and how the grain runs vertically. Human microscopic showing of bone structure of a human. Looks familiar, doesn't it? Especially when you see two examples. On the top you see an example of human bone structure with the collagen molecule to the left on the top. In the bottom you'll see the cellulose structure on the left on the bottom to that of bamboo and type of wooden structures. The comparisons and the resemblance is absolutely ridiculous. Both examples show a definite grain running vertically. And now when you throw in the effects of gravity on this grain, when you're weight bearing and you're standing straight up, that grain will be preserved. It will stay just that way. However, after an injury and you're no longer weight bearing and your femur is left at a horizontal, I'm going to show you what happens. Now, in an able body, just like in wood with the bone, the direction of the grain is vertical. Strength to the femur, the tibia, and fibia. Now, after an injury, and the femur is no longer vertical, and it spends most of its time horizontal, and you'll notice the direction of the grain. Well, the direction of the grain changes due to a constant gravitational pull. You end up with a phenomenon called cellular realignment. We'll demonstrate the hazards of cellular realignment. The normal cellular alignment of an able-bodied femur. Now we're going to apply a load, and you'll notice that it withstood that load. Now here we'll show you the same femur, but the grain has actually changed, considering the femur is now at a horizontal, and we're going to apply the same load to the affected bone and the effects of that load. Anything different? Therein lies the problem. On the left side, you'll notice the healthy bone with the normal cellular alignment, and on the right side is the bone after cellular realignment thanks to gravity, and the subsequent consequences to those effects. Now understand something with this video. I'm not looking to scare you, but you should be afraid. Because if you're under the impression that the only thing you're killing while you're sitting in the chair, not doing anything, is time, and you think that nothing is going to waste other than wasting time by doing nothing is possibly the worst thing that you can do. You have to train. The more you do, the more you're going. If you don't do anything, your body is going to decompose and turn to shit. And along with it is going to go your health. Okay? So take that into account. Doing nothing is simple, then you will become nothing. If you're alright with that, stop watching this. I put together about 5 or 6 studies that I've actually went through. The ones after the other gazillion that I went through. About 5 or 6 different ones that all made sense to me. If you're interested in the information that I've been through, angryquad@gmail.com. Now get the fuck to work.